Which movie version of Batman is the most powerful? We'll treat their films like their video evidence, make a real physicist study them to extract hard numbers on their attributes, then have our Batmen compete in 3 Bat challenges to settle who has the best Batmobile, Bat gadgets, and Bat strikes. This is Power Levels. We're restricting our competitors to the Batmen who kept the role for more than 1 film. Sorry, Clune Dog. There's Michael Keaton's Batman '89, Christian Bale's Dark Knight, and Ben Affleck's Batflick. For our challenges, they'll have to race their Batmobiles through Gotham, grapple gun their Jokers up a building, and deliver their most powerful strike to send him flying off the side. Whoever performs the best in each section gets a point. Most points after all 3 is crowned our most powerful. Let's do this! We start with our Bats behind the wheel. To plot a course around Gotham, we'll extract data from the map of the city from the novel No Man's Land. Using the scale at the bottom, we can trace an accurate 12-mile track with a jump across the Gotham River at the end. And for the results, we'll need to know how fast each car can go. Let's check the stats of each Batmobile, some of which we pulled from their real-world engines, while other stats we outsourced to other Bat enthusiasts on the internet, because give us a break. Now we can compare their top speeds, and damn, Keaton! But top speed isn't everything. As they race, they'll have to accelerate and decelerate as they hit the turns. Cars turn thanks to friction, the force that the tires and road exert on each other. The sharper the turn, the more friction they'll need to keep from sliding out. To see how sharp the turns are, we'll measure average US roadways and assume a road width of 12 feet with a turn radius of 26 feet. And we'll find their max turning speed by figuring out the max force of friction their cars could apply on turns with that sharpness. A few assumptions here for simplicity. 1, that they're all using the same tires. 2, that their center of gravity is in the center of the car. And 3, that they're all equally good drivers. At a glance, Keaton's car looks like it would turn about as well as his neck, but he's got an edge, a car-mounted grappling hook. This cable provides more force towards the center of the circle formed by the turn. This, in addition to the friction from the tires, allows him to maintain the highest speed on straightaways and through turns. Now let's see how far they fly when they hit the jump at the end of the course. We can plug in their velocity, gravitational acceleration, and a 45-degree launch angle into the equation for a projectile's range, and out pops their distance. Keaton sails the furthest, with Batflick a decent length behind, and the Dark Knight's tumbler is too slow to even make it over the river. Uh-oh.
During combat, 2 of these would jump over a river towing cables.
Would they, Lucius? Would they? After 1 challenge, Batman '89 takes the first point. Now they have to yank their respective Jokers up a building via grapple gun. To find out whose gun could do this the quickest, we need to find the mass and average velocity of someone being grappled upwards by each Batman. With this data, we'll be able to calculate how powerful each gun is. Once we know the power, we'll just need the mass of each Joker to see who wins. Fun fact, according to our physicist, a grappling gun that small is completely unrealistic. Wait, that's not fun. Still a fact, though. Moving on. We'll start by analyzing clips of people being grappled straight up. By marking objects we can reasonably guess the size of, like the stories of this building, we can see how much distance they cover in a given time and find their velocity. Then we'll need the mass of the person being hoisted up. Sometimes this means looking up the actor's mass in articles about their training regimens, but sometimes Batman just straight up asks.
How much do you weigh?
About 108, I think.
Then we add a few pounds for good measure.
You weigh a little more than 108.
Oh, really?
Let's go.
Rude. Our final variable is the mass of each Joker, which we found from interviews with Ledger and Leto, but Nicholson was harder to track down. We decided to cross-reference his reported height, 5'10", with his body mass index profile, which after a rigorous debate we settled at overweight but not quite obese. Science. This gives Keaton a 205-pound Joker to dance with in the pale moonlight. With all our data in hand, we can run the numbers and see that Leto will zoom up the side in 1.8 seconds, quicker than you could say, "Save Martha!" Ledger rises a close second at 3.2 seconds, and Nicholson in dead last. Yup. Anytime now. There he is. Giving Batflick the point for challenge number 2. But even the best Bat can't hide in the shadows all day. At some point, they gotta step out and kick some face. To find the force of each Batman's strikes, we'll find clips where he gives a bad guy his best shot. Then we'll use that video to gather the data we need: his victim's mass, how long Batman's foot makes contact, and their change in velocity after being hit. First, let's time each kick, then measure their velocity like we did for the grappling section to get their change in momentum. With the bad guy's momentum and the kick's contact time in hand, we can calculate the force of the kick itself. Batflick is the clear winner here, with a force applied that's well over a professional fighting athlete's average of about 5,000 newtons. For reference, it takes about 4,000 newtons to break a bone. And while our physicists wouldn't confirm this, Jared Leto has hollow little bird bones, so look out if they ever meet on screen again. They won't. If we take a look at the challenge results, Batfleck wins the most challenges overall with the quickest grapple gun and strongest strikes. Yay? Sorry, Bale, the Dark Knight didn't rise today. But in your defense, you spent the fewest years actually Batmaning in your universe. And when you look at how the other two turned out, probably a good idea to retire to Italy or whatever. So even though Bale is my personal favorite, the data doesn't care about my feelings. But don't lose hope, viewers. Let us know who you want to see compete, and you could see them face off right here in the next episode of Power Levels.